I'm Eduardo de la Pena. I'm professor of tropical agriculture at Ghent University, and my area of expertise is tropical fruit production. I'm of course working on tropical agriculture and in particular with tropical fruit crops. And as you probably have seen in the media and in the newspaper, the global demand of crops is increasing, and this also is occurring for tropical fruit crops. And this has to do, on one hand, with the fact that the global population is increasing, so there is a higher demand of crops in general. And it has also to do with the fact that Western and growing economies are changing their habits, and because of health concerns, there are certain crops and certain fruit crops, for instance, that are highly demanded. Think, for instance, on avocado or mango and other tropical fruit crops that are getting very popular. And that means that in the areas of production in the tropics, there is an increasing pressure to produce these crops. So farmers have to cope with this increasing demand, and they have to use more resources to produce these crops. And at the same time, they have to deal with global change and with all the associated problems that are related with this. So the hanging question that we have here, and I have as a researcher, is how to produce crops, how to produce food in a more sustainable way. And at the same time, to give a solution to help farmers in producing areas to produce these crops. And there are different options to do that. And my approach to it is to use the natural biodiversity in agricultural systems. So when we talk about biodiversity, we can think of biodiversity and using biodiversity in production at three different levels. So we can use the natural crop diversity. So for any crop, you have different varieties. This diversity can be used to improve production. So you have certain varieties that are better adapted to the current environmental and production circumstances. So we can, by selecting suitable varieties, we can increase production. Another approach to it, by using biodiversity in agricultural systems, is to use the diversity and utilize the natural diversity of certain functional groups that will help us to produce more crops in a more sustainable way. So if we think, for instance, of pollinating insects that help, that they can help us to produce more fruits in the same surface. So using the same resources, by having increasing numbers of pollinators and increased fruit set, we can produce more fruit per hectare. So these are the three levels that we can manage. So crop diversity, the natural diversity of species in an agricultural system, and also managing and improving landscape diversity. So these are the tools that we have, or I have in my research, to improve the production of fruit crops and make the production of these crops more sustainable. And by doing that, helping farmers in production areas in the tropics and the subtropics to cope with this increasing demand of tropical crops. In case you have further questions or you want to discuss any other topic related to this area of research, I'm certainly available for further discussion.